Hey, what's up? What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And this is hopefully the last and final Carlee Russell press conference, update, and all of those things of the things. The Hoover PD said that they are going to be going live in about 2 minutes to give us the final, hopefully, this is the final update in this Carlee Russell saga. Today, it is rumored that she is going to be charged. So we're going to watch this live with you guys. It's literally 1 minute until it's supposed to be on. Okay. And we're going to watch it live to see what they say. They have been investigating into other people. You know, she said that she acted alone. And we're going to see if they have any new information. There was chatter and rumors that possibly the boyfriend's house was searched, but I cannot see that confirmed anywhere at this time. So we're just going to wait to see exactly what they charge her with. Okay. Right now, WFLA News Channel is streaming, but they're just showing the podium right now. So there isn't really much for me to show you guys. As soon as they start, I will put it on this screen, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that they will charge her? Do you think that they should charge her? Or do you think that she should just get a fine? There's some people who are divided, and some people think like, oh, she should just get a fine. They shouldn't charge her. Whoopty whoopty whoop. So I wanna know what you guys think. Let's bring it up because they are now about to start. So let me pull up um my Facebook screen so we could see this together.
Over to Chief Dargis. Thank you, Captain. Good afternoon. Earlier today, Hoover police detectives obtained warrants for the arrest of Carlee Russell through the Hoover Municipal Court for her actions related to faking her kidnapping and subsequently making false statements to detectives as they investigated this case. Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation as the concern grew that a kidnapper was on the loose using a small child as bait. Numerous law enforcement agencies, both local and federal, began working tirelessly not only to bring Carlee home to her family, but locate a kidnapper that we know now never existed. Many private citizens volunteered their time and energy into looking for a potential kidnapping victim that we know now was never in any danger. This story opened wounds for families whose loved ones really were victims of kidnappings, some of which even helped organize searches in hopes they could find Carlee's alive so her family would not experience the pain and suffering that they felt when their loved ones never returned home. As we know, actions can have consequences, and that's why we're here today. This afternoon, Carlee Russell, with the assistance of her attorney, turned herself into the Hoover City Jail, where she was arrested for the following charges: false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class A misdemeanor, $1,000 bond; falsely reporting an incident, a Class A misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond. Each of these charges carry up to a year in jail and potential fine of $6,000 upon conviction. Ms. Russell was released from jail after posting bond. We initially presented this case to District Attorney Lanice Washington, who agreed to handle prosecution through district court. After consulting with the Circuit Court of Jefferson County Bessemer Division, the case was referred back to municipal court for charging because the only applicable charges were misdemeanors. Judging from the amount of phone calls and emails that we've received from people all over the country, I know many are shocked and appalled that Ms. Russell is only being charged with 2 misdemeanors, despite all the panic and disruption her actions caused. Let me assure you, I too share the same frustration, but existing laws only allow the charges that were filed to be filed. I can tell you that I will be contacting our state legislatures on behalf of law enforcement in Montgomery and asking them to look at this law applied to these facts and urge them to add an enhancement to current legislation when somebody falsely reports kidnapping or another violent crime. Because of the attention this case has garnered, we've requested Attorney General Steve Marshall's office adopt this case, and they've agreed to do so. The Hoover Police Department wants to thank everyone that assisted us from the beginning and continues to assist us in this case as we work its way through the criminal justice system. Joining me at the podium today is State of Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall.
Thank you, Chief. Let me begin by commending Hoover Police Department Chief Durgis for his leadership in this investigation. Obviously, this captured many's attention as a result of not only the allegations themselves, but also the concern about a possible victim in being able to return her home. The work that was done by the Hoover Police Department was monumental in its lift, and the results of that work you are seeing come to fruition today with the charges that have been levied. Also want to commend the many other men and women of both state and federal law enforcement for their work collaboratively with the Hoover Police Department in assisting in this investigation. Chief, appreciate the opportunity to be able to partner with you in this prosecution. We will dedicate a team to be able to help the city of Hoover in handling these two individual charges and look forward to bringing this case to fruition. One thing I would add is that we don't men and women of both state and federal law enforcement. We will dedicate a team to be able to help the city of Hoover in handling these two individual charges and look forward to bringing this case to fruition. One thing I would add is that we don't see this as a victimless crime. There are significant hours spent, resources expended as a result of this investigation. And not only that, but the many men and women who are civilians that wore those yellow vests on a hot afternoon and evening looking for someone they thought was abducted, trying to be of assistance. We intend to fully prosecute this case and look forward to working with the Hoover Police Department moving forward. We also would tell you that we will continue to monitor this investigation to determine whether or not there are any additional charges that need to be brought, and we'll evaluate those as the facts are presented.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we'll open the floor to questions. If you'll please raise your hand and identify yourself and your affiliation when I call you.
I'm CBS 42. This question for Mr. Attorney General. What is it about this case?
To the level to where it was a case that you wanted to take on?
We handle cases across the state. We have jurisdiction throughout for both misdemeanors and felonies. And when Chief Durgis asked for our assistance, we were more than happy to be able to assist.
Is it common for you all to be involved in misdemeanors like a case like this?
It's not uncommon.
Right here.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610, 100.1 FM, Summit Media. Chief, this question is for you.
Yes.
What time was Carlee arrested with her attorney, and has she made bail?
She has. She was processed in our facility within the past hour.
Do you expect any charges to be forthcoming with her parents, or is this just all on Carlee at this point?
At this point, and again, I think anything is, all as the Attorney General said, their team will also be searching through our files, and we'll find out what they say.
Carol.
Carol Robinson with AL.com. Have you, since we spoke last in the press conference, been able to retrace where she was during the 49 hours she was missing, and have you determined if she was with anyone else during that time?
We have not found anything out on either one of your two questions.
Right here.
Valerie Bell, ABC 3340 News. Has there been any decision about a possible civil suit against Carlee and or her family? Also, what impact would this have on Hoover Police Department filing a suit have on the criminal case as well?
Yeah, we have not discussed that. Of course, we talked about the hours of overtime and all the significant resources that we used. And we'll certainly be talking to the Attorney General's office about possibly getting some of those funds returned to us.
Lisa Crane, WBTM 13. In an earlier press conference, you outlined some items she had taken from her employer. Any potential theft charges for that?
Those would have taken place in another jurisdiction, so we would not have charges ourselves.
Ashleen Robinson, WBRC. Chief, do you mind repeating those charges and fines one more time for us?
Sure. False reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class A misdemeanor with $1,000 bond. Falsely reporting an incident, a Class A misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond.
Chief, I know you mentioned this the last time we were together. Just wondered if you have any update on an idea of the cost that the Hoover Police Department expended in those 48, 49 hours Carlee Russell was missing. And one final question, do you at this point have any more information if Carlee Russell acted alone or anyone helped her?
Yeah, we have not finished. Obviously, the 49 hours, we've been certainly busy since her return. So I still don't have a total on that. And we don't have any idea where Carlee Russell was for 49 hours.
Chief Mims, WAG G610. Chief, let me ask you this. Going forward, there's been a lot of concern in the community as per young Black and brown females being reported missing. Would Hoover and other agencies have the same fervor going forward as they did with the case with Carlee Russell?
Absolutely. This, as I said initially, our focus was bringing Carlee home, and she got home. And then our focus has been to find out if there was a kidnapping. We find out there's not. We work every case like all other law enforcement does. So I don't have any concern anywhere that would be an issue.
And can I echo what Chief said? I've been in law enforcement for 27 years, law enforcement throughout this state. I've never seen anybody interested in the color of your skin in investigating a criminal case. And I expect, regardless of your gender, your race, when that report is filed, that Alabama law enforcement is going to do its job.
Valerie, C-33 state when she arrived to the jail today, and is she seeking any help at this point in time?
I was not there, so I really can't tell you exactly, and I really don't know anything else.
All right, last question.
Robinson, WBRC Chief. What are next steps after this? What is going to happen next?
Well, right now, the Attorney General's office attorneys will start dealing with our detectives and going through case files and preparing prosecution, I presume.
Thank you guys very much.
Will y'all be releasing a mugshot?
Yes, we will momentarily.
Thank you.
Thank you.
AJ, what are your thoughts? Hello? Unmute your mic. AJ, unmute your mic.
Hey,
Hey.
I
This
honestly
is
just
chat for those of you who want to come up. Go ahead, AJ.
so I honestly just joined the live and I didn't see what was going on. I was on your YouTube page and had joined this one. So what did they come up with?
Oh, they charged her with 2 misdemeanors and then she bonded out.
That's horrible. But at the end of the day, it's a lesson learned. Obviously, I wish she would have did some type of jail time, like you referred to that white woman that was married with 2 kids and
Bonded
disappeared
out doesn't mean that you don't do jail time. It just means that they're not holding you up
for the
until
moment.
you go to trial for this. That doesn't mean that she won't do jail time. He said both of the offenses, even though they were misdemeanors, they can carry up to a year in jail, and they're still looking and considering other charges. But that doesn't mean that she won't do jail time. It just
Well, I
means
hope
in the
yeah.
meantime, she could be out.
Well, that's fair. She's not a danger to society to my knowledge, but I feel like she still should do some type of time. I don't think community service is anything because her going into the woods was her community service. At the end of the day, I felt so bad when I saw this man who's I think the white woman is his wife, or regardless, she went to the search with the mom and dad, and her daughter wound up being missing in Hoover and she wound up being killed. Do you know that story?
Yes, we've been covering it.
So I felt bad when I heard that girl's dad, and he just said, basically how this was brought up all over again, and it's salt on the wound and stuff. You have to just feel for people like that who didn't even, who didn't even ask to be brought into the situation. I don't know why she did it. I don't feel like there's any excuse that she could have done this as a grown woman. You have the reason to go away for a few days if you want to. Make sure your parents know where you are, and that's it. If you don't want to answer his phone calls, then just don't do that. But making up an elaborate story, saying there's a child involved, especially if you don't have children, it's even worse when you do. Like, we felt some type of way, no matter what her color was. We wanted her home. She's home, cool, but she still needs to do jail time. You still falsified a police report. I know you didn't mean to have this, whole worldwide hunt for you, but at the end of the day, if you never, made it up, it would have never happened. So that's my thought.
Okay. Somebody in the chat asked me, do I agree? I mean, I can't make up their laws for them. I don't understand why we live in America and each state has such drastic different laws. For example, in Florida, there was an 11-year-old girl who she made a false report. I posted this on my Instagram story. So this 11-year-old girl, she made a false report. She said that her friend was being kidnapped. She texted 911 saying her friend was being kidnapped. She kept them on this wild goose chase or whatever. And Florida arrested her immediately. She was charged immediately for this. Now, I know that when you have an attorney, that does kind of like delay things a little bit, but I feel like she should have been charged immediately. They knew immediately that she was full of baloney. And I feel like the bond should have been a lot higher. I don't know where they get the fact of she can get up to a $6,000 fine. I'm not sure if that can be different than like restitution charges for what accumulated, but $6,000 does not sound anywhere in the ballpark of correct. I'm gonna bring Lathea up, and then I'm gonna show you guys the story about the 11-year-old that I posted on my Instagram. Hello.
Hi, Nick. How are you? I'm glad that they are charging her at this point, because that was just ridiculous. Why just go away? Don't. That's just crazy. And I feel that she really not necessarily set us back, but made people more skeptical about coming and trying to help. There's a lady in Charlotte right now that was missing at the same time, and she has got no media coverage. The police are not really helping. Her name is Alicia Watts. If you go look up her story, it's really sad because she's been missing for 11 days now.
And not only that, I don't know the name of the lady who I reposted, but I reposted a missing story on my Instagram after this Carlee thing, and it was literally only like 4 people commenting on it. Like any other post that I do, they have like 100 to 300 comments depending on, you know, what the subject is. But I post a missing story after this, and it only got like 4 comments. People were not interested. People were not engaged. No. And then I posted a story of a Black woman who was a travel flight attendant, and she was in a hotel, and like there was this guy who put this string under her door trying
I saw that.
They said that it was hotel staff, but in the comments, people were commenting in my comments. They was like, you know, I'm mad at Carlee because of Carlee, I doubt this woman. Like, oh, I have doubt. Like she put doubt, and she's making me look at this woman sideways. And the lady had video proof of what was happening to her, and everything. So it does affect us a lot. I don't understand why people claim like, oh, this doesn't affect Black women, blah, blah, blah. And I do understand when people say like, the only reason why this was magnified was because of a white baby. I will concede and agree that the white baby is what put them on alert. But I also will agree that that's what makes it premeditated, and why her charges should be a lot stronger, because she knew, she had the wherewithal to Google what constitutes an Amber Alert, what age limit triggers an Amber Alert. So she knew, okay, let me not only say that it's a baby involved, let me make the baby white. She knew that. So she's sane enough to know like, okay, well, they probably not going to take me serious because I'm a Black woman. So let me add this white baby in there. She premeditated the whole thing. And I think that should grant her premeditation and more charges. Not only that, now, my point to that is this. Listen, the fact that there was a white baby involved and that triggered them to look for it, I think that with this story, the masses would not have looked at it like that overall had this been true. Had this been true that there was this white baby and this Black woman got abducted, I think the bigger focus overall would have been Black women need to get attention. We need to be searching. And with these news stories, they operate just like us YouTubers. We go with the trending stories, what's going to get traction. If they were able to see that covering a Black woman's story got traction, a lot of people were invested in it, a lot of people went above and beyond, that would prompt them to do more Black stories. Okay.
Agreed.
It's all about traction. So while I will concede that the reason why this got amplified was because of a white baby, she set us back because had this been true, it would have prompted news stories to focus more on Black women because of how invested we were as a community. It affects us. I don't understand how people, they're like, well, the only reason why this got traction because it was a white baby. Yes, that's true. However, if this would have blew up, it would have been true and she legitimately escaped or whatever, white news media would have been like, you know what, let me, let's focus more on Black women getting abducted. They go with the views, they go with the traction, they go with the clicks. We all working off of clicks and views, whether you a news media, whether you a TV network, whether you are a YouTuber, we all go off of the click and the view. And when they find out something ain't gonna give them the click and the view, they go on with it. What gets the click and the view? White woman tears, white woman in distress. That gets the white people going. But same with Black Panther, Little Mermaid. When they made the show, The Black Panther, Black people showed up and showed out. They said, oh, we could get the Black dollar. So let's start integrating more Black stuff in there. That's the same rhetoric with this whole situation that people are missing. When they see us Black boots on the ground, investing, driving traffic, showing up, being alert, that's when they put it forth. A lot of people, and even with this whole Barbie versus Little Mermaid thing, people are acting like this like if you went to go see The Little Mermaid, it's creating generational wealth for Halle Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're creating generational wealth for the owners, the white owners of the company. Yes, it's good to have representation, but the way that people like discuss it, I'm like, Haley got paid a fee. This ain't generational wealth for her. This is feeding the company. This is feeding Disney. This is feeding his grandkids, his grandkids. And like, unless it's a Black company putting this on,
right?
Like the thinking that behind it, y'all missing some pieces to it. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But link in the chat. I'll let you respond if you want to, but there were some people who wanted to come up, so the link is in the chat. Go ahead if you want to go say something else.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, thank you for coming up. Let's see. You said the police didn't do nothing. I've been hearing about what's Oppenheimer versus Barbie. What is that? Little Mermaid was born at the end of the day. I went because she was Black. Yeah, you went because she was Black, and whether you went or not, Haley still got her fee, okay, for what she was charged. And the Disney is the one that's running it up, generational wealth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Trey?
What up? What up?
What's up? What's your thoughts?
My thoughts is you got a lot of misplaced anger. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, a lot of people saying, "Oh, the white and Black, this and this." No, I don't think it's a baby in general. Not because it's a white baby or a Black baby. It's a baby out there. A lot of people want to see don't nobody want to see a baby on the side of the highway.
Please save it. The fact that it was a white baby walking around with a little
baby, Nick, it could have been any baby.
Not be the same thing as a Black.
You don't think a white person would pull over for a Black baby? That's what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that a Black.
But no, you are saying it because you're saying it's a white baby.
But
so when nobody call the police for a Black baby?
What happened?
So when nobody call the police for a Black baby, you think that?
That's not what I said. You putting words in my mouth. I said.
No, I'm asking you. I'm just asking. I didn't say. Would anybody call the police for a Black baby?
There was a white baby.
But would anybody call the police for a Black baby?
What they call the police for is not what's going to get attention on the news.
But no, I'm asking you, would anybody call the police for a Black baby? Do you think that?
what somebody pulls over and sees does not mean that it's
No,
going
no.
to the
So,
level of media attention. Do you
so you
not?
don't think, and I'm asking you, do you think a white person would call the police if they saw a black child on the interstate walking with a diaper on in the middle of the night?
Yes. However, I do
Okay.
not that would rise
Dr-
to the level of media attention that this did, being that it was a white baby.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
You know how many
So if
reports of crimes, like people report crimes, they see
no,
stuff.
I understand. I
That doesn't
understand.
make the news.
White, a lot of crimes don't make the news, sister. White and black. You can't. The media got you where they want you. You justifying this between white and black instead of looking at independent.
Anything.
We look at you, Neek. We don't look at all the major news channels to get the news all the time. We look at your channel. We look at the independent news people on YouTube.
Justify.
But okay, I'm asking you. So
Answer you.
do you think?
I'm asking you a question. What did I
Okay.
justify?
You just said that anybody would call the police for any child on the interstate, white or black.
What did I
And you saying it wouldn't have garnered as much attention, but it was also an abduction linked to the case. So if a white woman called and say she saw a black child missing on the side of the road, and she came up missing, so she wouldn't have garnered that much attention because it was a black child, or was she garnered that much attention because it was a white woman missing?
Child with who?
Okay, so if it was a white woman in this instance and was a black child,
racial dynamic there. Put a black
but
baby.
if she came up missing, so you're gonna blame it on is she a white woman? So she garnered that much attention?
Using the same racial dynamic. Put a black child in a black woman as your scenario,
Okay.
and go from there.
Okay, but y'all put the racial dynamic into it.
The same racial dynamic. Put a black baby with a black woman, and then make your point from there.
But the thing, it happens all the time, though. It's about social economics. You think about she from a rich family. Her family got money. It could have been a poor family out the ghetto. Okay, what about that? What about the socioeconomic consequences to it too? You want to make it about white and black, but it's like we got the middle class whites, we got the poor blacks, we got the upper class whites. We got
nursing background added to it.
Yeah. But it's a class level to it too. So I mean, if you want to go deep into it, you can come up with all kinds of things that separate people. You know what I'm saying? You can come up with her money, you can come up with her race, you can come up with all these different scenarios to separate us.
Okay, first of all, I didn't come up with that.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm talking about in general.
You talk. Somebody commented that and said it was because a white baby was there. I responded to a comment and I said, I will concede that. And I gave you the points that I made because of how it would still set us back.
It don't, when you hear a white person do something on TV, they don't compare all them, they don't put themselves in a bucket. Why we gotta do, why it set us back though? It set her back, not us.
Themselves in a bucket. Why would they put themselves in a bucket when they're the majority?
But still, who does that though? I mean, why would you do that? Why would you put yourself in a group of somebody you don't agree with? We Democrats, Republicans, we black, we white. We put ourselves in, we separate ourselves from. I don't get that. I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of funny to me. Like we separate ourselves by being all these different things where we don't have to be.
But that's not reality.
It is reality because reality is not black and white. We don't have to separate ourselves, bro. I'm telling you, we don't. I mean, it's a lot of people. It's white people that are die for me. Do you think?
Yeah,
do you think if you got white friends, would they die for you?
What happened?
Do you have any white friends? Would they die for you? Would they put their life on the line for you?
No, I'm not expecting a white person to put their life on the line for me.
But why not? I was in the military for 8 years, and I had white friends that would put their lives on the line for me. We never argued about nothing about race, nothing about this and this.
Lil Wayne-ish, okay? That sounds like Lil Wayne who.
No, it's not Lil. No, it's real. This is the reality because if you go into any job environment, you're gonna be working with white folks. You're gonna be working with black. You're gonna be working out here.
That is called a very anecdotal situation.
No, it's not. It's reality because we all work together out here.
Let me speak. I just let you speak and I didn't interrupt you. Lil Wayne had a white cop save him. So anytime there was an injustice done to a black person, he always had a skewed view of reality because that one white cop saved him, and he put the blanket as if all cops are good, which is false. That's
no different from anybody else out here on these streets thinking because you my skin folk, you my kin folk. It's no different. Same thing. You got brothers out here killing each other every day, my sister. I mean, come on. Be real. I mean, this is real. I'm talking about reality. I've been all over the world. You understand?
Reality. Those white people were your friends, right?
No, it's not about white or black. My people. It's about the human race. It's about human. My sister. I see people, black folks killing black folks every day.
Let Gail speak. Let Gail speak.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I mean, I don't even know why this is an on and on thing. If there's no black and white dynamic.
You covering up your mic.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I was going to say, I don't know why this is even an issue. If there's no racial dynamic issues in this nation,
I can't hear you. It sounds like you underwater. You got to click out and come back in.
Okay.
All right, May, go ahead. May, unmute your mic.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I was listening to what Trey was saying, and I'm just gonna be honest. It's not about a black-white thing. It's not about a cop thing. This girl made a stupid decision. You have to live with that. She deserves what she gets.
Exactly.
And she did, like Neek was saying, she set us back a little bit because I'm gonna be honest. The other day, a little girl, 12 years old, made a false report to the police that her friend had got kidnapped. This is not a time where we point the finger. We just need to be honest and hold people accountable for what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing. And y'all making it a black-white thing when it's not really a black-white thing.
Exactly.
And to be honest, she could have excited a riot in Alabama. We all know that the KKK still exists, all that. She could have excited a riot. And I say that all the time. And I'm never going to back down from that. She made a not only a prank, a joke, a stupid mistake. This is a real national crisis that goes on every day. Look at here in Georgia, a young lady yesterday marked the day before yesterday, marked the first year anniversary where a young lady at 16 was murdered by a cop here in Georgia. And they never would have found out it was a police officer had they not put in the work. This young lady would have got found out there stinking, not knowing it was a cop that killed her. So it's not a black-white thing. It's not a cop person thing. It's a we against some fucked up people out here in this world.
Yeah, it's
Can y'all hear me better now? Change the mic. Can y'all hear me better now? Because y'all saying I keep going out. And I'm gonna say what I got to say. Let me know.
Messing up a little.
You're a little worse, Neek.
Huh?
You're good now. You was a little worse than before.
It's worse than before now?
No, you good now. You good now. You good.
Okay.
You good, Nick?
You said no? Okay, what about now?
You good?
You good.
Y'all saying I'm good, but
No, they probably lagging. They probably behind. Now you muted, Neat. That's the same thing I was saying. It's not about back. She made a bad decision. When that woman got caught, you didn't hear white folks talking about she set us back.
I can't hear her now.
I can't hear her either. When it happened to a white person, you never hear a white person talking about, oh, they set us back, talking about, oh, it's a majority. That's
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but a lot of people who say that, that's not the problem. You have to look back.
but
If
I
some,
understand.
the only
It's a
reason why I
problem.
feel like this, and probably Neek feel the same way, is because okay, have you ever seen the movie Rosewood?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Let me mute both of them real quick. My whole position is that she was out of pocket. Like, y'all changing it from me commenting to one person, like I've been making this a white and black thing this whole time. My position is that she was silly. She needs to be held accountable. And regardless if she's black, I'm not going to just cape for her just because she's a black woman. That has been my whole position. I responded to one person who I said, I will concede that this got more attention because there was a white baby, because I absolutely 100% think that and believe that is true. However, there's two things that can be true. And the two things that can be true is while this got more attention because there was a white baby attached to the story, she ultimately needs to be held accountable because she not only premeditated this, she stole from her job, she planned this out for the attention of a Negro that's going to cheat regardless. She wasted tax time. She had people calling off of their work, calling off on PTO days to search for a girl that ain't never went missing. She has wasted people's resources. People had to send in donations that they had to be in jeopardy of getting back. Okay, so my whole position, I don't know why y'all trying to change it like I'm the one focused on white and black thing. My position is she's goofy. She needs to be held accountable for being goofy. And that's it. That's all. Period.
Nick,
No, I
I
don't feel
understood
like
that
you're making it a
position.
white or black. Hold on, Trey. Not to
Yeah,
cut you off.
because I
I
don't
don't feel
believe.
like you're making it a white or black thing.
No, me
That's why I
neither. I
said
don't
I
feel like,
agree
but
with you. I watch your segment all the time. I know that you agree
yeah,
with everything that I say. Like
exactly. Me too.
she really need 2 counts for falsely claiming that her
When
and the
when I
child
watch
was
your channel,
missing.
I agree with everything you say, Nick. But what I disagree with is the point that you saying that if it's a white baby involved, that make it more important. I don't agree with that. If it's any baby, I think if it's any baby out there, it's gonna be an issue. I don't think if it's a white or black baby,
Nah,
it's
I
a
ain't gonna lie
baby.
about that. I feel like because she was a black woman reporting a white baby missing, it did kind of gain more attention.
But how about
Because
a white
it's
woman
black
reporting a
women with
black
children
baby?
that go missing
So,
every day.
but no, but but no, listen. Now,
Move on
listen.
to
Hold on,
that.
give me 1 second, Nick.
We're gonna
This
move
what
on.
I'm trying to, this what I'm trying to say.
And a black baby is still the same racial dynamic. You keep missing that. It's still a white woman in distress with a black baby. It's still a white person in
No, I disagree with that.
distress.
I disagree with that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Y'all tripping.
Move on from that point because there's a lot of people that want to talk. So let me go to Julia. Julia, go ahead.
I know somebody agree with me too.
Hey, hi Nick. I'm such a huge fan. I've been watching you since like high school.
Oh, thank
But
you. Appreciate it.
um just in regards to your points, I totally agree. I just do not agree with everyone associating this with her setting African American women back. I think the conversation should shift to just this young lady just being deranged and just lying on an issue. I don't know about the whole race thing. I do not think the race thing should be a part of the conversation. However, I do agree with your point that she's kind of nuts and she should face jail time for it. And for everybody that's like, oh my gosh, she's African American, she shouldn't be charged or protect her. I think that's really crazy. But thank you.
But that's where the fact racer comes in for me, because in the end, people are saying because she's black, she shouldn't be charged because if it was a white woman, when in reality, a white woman has been charged for the same exact thing. So, like you said, yeah, it shouldn't be a race thing. But I understand where most black people are coming from when with our situation, like with Emmett Till, how that woman went on to die in peace and was never charged. Well, I understand the dynamic from both parties when it comes to the race thing, because black people, we don't have justice in our system as much as other races.
All right. May and Julia,
May
I'm gonna take you guys off so I could bring up some more people. Go ahead. Amanda, go ahead.
I'm kind of 50-50 on this. I do believe that she should have been given more charges. I do believe that she should have been fined more than just 6,000 because Nick, I know you know this. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The last I heard, it was at least 100,000 as far as expenses, as far as looking looking for her. And all of this, okay, this was premeditated. I really believe that's why she said it was a white baby she saw. And now look, I could be wrong, but she premeditated everything. Where she was, when she was gonna call, how, like even where they say she walked in through a tunnel, like all of this, she knew she was gonna get the attention. She knew if she would have said
She
a
wanted
white baby.
the attention. She wanted the attention. That is why she Googled what is gonna get the most attention. She didn't just want, oh, let me act like I'm missing so my boyfriend could be worried. She wanted it to be national. She wanted it to make the news. She wanted this to spread. And not only that, there was people who had TikTok receipts that while she was missing, she was texting her boyfriend saying, oh, we're gonna spread her ashes or we're gonna cut up her body, like trying, like the whole thing was to taunt her boyfriend this whole time. Like, but she, not only that, she wanted it to be national.
I think she got more than what she wanted. And I hate to say this, but I think because of the things that's happened recently, as far as in on the political stance, that we are living currently in a woke nation. I'm trying to be very careful with my terminology. I think that was a lot of the reason. Hoover, in Hoover, Alabama, that was why they're not so harsh. They're not so heads on to say, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, da 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 da. We're going to charge 100,000. All they're not going to be so steadfast, because I think somebody said it in your chat that Hoover, that is a predominantly white county. So with that being said, I think they're trying to walk very careful with the charges. They're trying to walk very careful with what they're going to say, because I hate to say this, like if they would have said we're going to do this, and they would have said, oh, they're being racist, and then the family would have.
Wait. Brian Washington, and it keeps saying that you're trying to connect, but you're not allowing your devices. So you're not allowing your devices to be on. Thank you, Amanda. Mac.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Hey.
So I have a few points. I do agree with you to some points. So I work in the military as well, right? But when it comes to cases where there's hoax calls in at least this particular branch, when you do a hoax calls and you get caught, it's a Class D felony. So I feel like if you're going to make these hoax calls and things like that, there need to be heavier charges, because that's not something to play around. There's a lot of resources and time, money, and manpower that goes into these things that you just lose. So I do feel like she should be charged more. But however, that's the laws of Alabama. So that's why the chief said what he said. He wants to lobby for higher charges. The issue, I do agree with you to the point of if race wasn't a factor, because she was smart by putting it as a factor, the probability of it being a different race is going to garner less attention. We know that on the news. Now that's just facts. That's just the reality. Where it's not just the black and white. That's just the reality that we live in, right? However, she shouldn't be the spokesperson for us, just like Jussie Smollett shouldn't have been the spokesperson for all gay people. But however, people do that. That's just that's the common thing. That's the reality. People will group of people based off of one individual. You see that in
Can you
media.
explain to Hood Therapy why she deserves more charges? Because they think it's just because people are mad. So Hood
No.
Therapy says just because people are angry doesn't mean she deserves more charges. Can you elaborate on why she deserves charges?
I say for like this, right? Because I work in emergency management, and I've been working as a trade in that specialty. I've been working in that for about 12 years. So on a Mariner on Channel 16, if you're out at sea, it's used for internationally hailing in distress, just like 911. And if you're saying the keywords like you're in distress, but you're not actually in distress, and they find you, they're going to fine you, and there's going to be charges, and the charges could be a Class D felony because you're lying. It's a falsifying documentation. You're falsifying a situation from happening. How I view it, being with that kind of experience, I feel like some of those laws should apply. However, that's just not the case. And just as it is, we can say, okay, if it's not a race thing, there's a class thing. There's always is a class and race thing. There's always going to be some hierarchy there.
Rock says, so you all are really telling me that you are upset that you cared for someone? That's weird on your part. We care as a humanity if women are getting kidnapped. Like, what do you mean? Like, why should we feel bad for caring about a situation that people should care about? If people are missing, people are getting trafficked, people are causing harm to them, those things are things that we should care about, because if it happened to them, it can happen to us. So if we're women who drive vehicles, drive on interstates, and we are susceptible to get kidnapped, that's something that we should care about. So what are you talking about?
It's just like the whole thing of going up into someone's front porch. People are afraid to knock on somebody's front porch now, is because it's a possibility that you can get shot through it, right? People don't, if you see something, the whole thing, if you see something, say something. But what happens when you intervene? There's a probability that you can get wrapped up into the mess too. So what do people typically do? They ignore it. It has nothing to do with me. It's not right, but that's the reality of it.
All right. Thank you, Mac.
Thank you.
All right. Mac gave y'all his reason for it. My reason is the same coverage that this is getting right now on all of the top major news stations. The attention that this is getting is taking away slots from real people. I don't care how you look at it. This is taking away resources still, yet and time again. If you guys already spoke, I'm gonna cycle through more people because everybody already gave their point extensively. I see some people coming back on backstage that already like gave their speech. If this situation did not happen, those slots in airtime would be available for people who were really missing. Van Varner, you trying to tell me something that this whole stream is about? Like, what are you talking about? We've been live, we've been streamed the press conference. You're late. Let me see what else. Oh, let me show y'all the 11-year-old who was immediately charged. Lady Tia, go ahead while I pull up the 11-year-old that was charged.
Okay. Hey, Nick. Hey, everyone in the chat. So I've been listening to the whole time, and I did agree with Trey on a lot of things. But I wanted to ask you, Nick, when we see these situations happen, like we seen the situation happen with the white porn star that killed the black man in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
She had a lawyer on deck. Her parents had a lawyer on deck. In this situation, when that second day I think about this Carlee, her parents had a lawyer, and I was wondering why the hell they got a lawyer if she's the victim.
You're already using a lot of words that are not favorable for YouTube. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is wrong with her having a lawyer available, just like any other what we would call privileged white person, when they have situations like this?
Who said there was anything wrong with her having a lawyer?
Well, I'm saying it because when people saying they are upset about what happened in the press conference on her not doing jail time, I actually believe it happened because she obtained a lawyer so quickly. What do you think about that?
I spoke about her having an attorney, and I spoke about that already.
Well, I mean, I'm not coming to badge or anything. I just had a question. But I do think that Trey made a good point, and at some point you kind of did sound like it was about race. And the only reason I say that because you are absolutely right. I agree with both of you guys.
What
If
point?
she would have said if she would have said a black child, I think the difference would have been a whole different type of level. With her saying a white child,
If you agree that if it was a black child, it would have been different, what great point did he make?
the point that he made about any child, if it was a white child, Mexican child, or white child, would
That if
you have stopped? And I'm sorry.
you just agreed that if it was a black child, that it would have been different.
But didn't you say both things can be true? Right?
I said two things can be true as far as her needing to be held accountable.
And I agree. I agree with her being accountable. I agree with her being accountable for what she did. And when I said something about the lawyer, and yes, she should be accountable for all of this. But she obtained a lawyer just like most rich, privileged people do in situations like that. And so when she got the misdemeanor charges and really
And
ain't doing time.
I want to understand your point that you said that Trey made a point.
Oh, the point that he made was, would you stop for any child, no matter the race? That was his point.
And my point was, just because you stop for a child does not mean that it's going to get media coverage. That was my response.
And I think you both agreed on that, but his point was,
No, his
why
point,
seem
we didn't agree on that point. His point was that whether it was a black child or a white child, it was going to get the same media coverage. That was his point. My point was, even though a person may pull over for a black child, that does not mean that it's going to get the same media coverage. My point was media coverage.
well, I agree with you on that, but I still think he had a point. I really only came up about the lawyer thing and why folks are upset about what the chief and Hoover end up saying in the press conference about why well, they really didn't give us a good excuse of why she's not being charged with anything that's jail time or felony, anything like that. I do think it was a waste of resources. I think that this was all Carlee's lie. I don't necessarily think that her parents did anything wrong. Do you?
Yeah, her parents absolutely did everything wrong. How do you don't find her parent? And let me respond to these people that saying I'm mean. I'm not. I could be whatever you want. This is my attitude on Carlee every time I have reported on Carlee. Okay. I do not have time for the excuses for Carlee on any post that I posted. So if you think that you're going to get a different attitude, you're not. This is going to be the same energy on every Carlee video. The same the same attitude that I've had on every video to people who make excuses for her is going to be the same energy on every video. So skip my Carlee coverage. You take the day off of my Carlee coverage if you think that my attitude is going to be different, because I don't think that there should be any excuses for her. I think that she needs to absolutely go immediately to jail. She wasted resources. She wasted people's time. And she did this all behind a man. So no, it's retarded, ridiculous. So you take the day off, and anytime I do a Carlee coverage, because my commentary is going to be the same.
Well, Neat, you don't bother me at all. But what do you think about her parents? Why would they be charged with anything? What did they do?
Absolutely need to be charged. For one, they went on national TV lying after they knew their daughter was lying. They raised this girl their whole life. They know that she was lying about being kidnapped. And with that information, they tried to lock down everything. They wanted everything to be suddenly private. They didn't want to answer nothing until a major network that's gonna clock some dollars over secured an interview with them. They disowned all of the local media who was helping them, searching for them, everybody who had their back. They disowned everybody in their neighborhood who had been helping them and told them to mind their business, and then got on national TV and lied and continued with this lie, knowing that their daughter was a lie. They absolutely need to be charged also.
And I agree, but you know that that they said that the father is a Mason and the mom is a AKA. What do you think about the so-called backing of those type of institutions?
I feel like that's going into a whole nother topic. I want to stick to the Carlee topic, them being a Mason or AKA or whatever. That is none of my concern. My concern is them not teaching their daughter accountability. And it was apparent with them getting on national TV and lying. And that is the reason why Carlee is in the situation she's in, because her parents have coddled her and they felt like, they continuing on. She did this because whatever happened with her and her boyfriend, she wasn't able to be real or accountable at a situation. So she wanted to do the extreme. She has been raised with no accountability, none whatsoever. And that is confirmed by her parents further backing a lie. So they taught her no accountability. They are in on it by continuing to lie for her, knowing that she lying, going on TV. They need to be charged as well. But that's all.
Okay, and I got one
Wanna...
more question, Nate. One more question really quick. My last question is, what would you do if it was your daughter?
Hold my daughter accountable.
Okay. Thank you, Nate, for having me.
Thank you. If it's my daughter, I'm holding her accountable. I'm not about to sit up there and lie. I'm going to tell y'all I ain't speaking before I get up there and lie for her. I'm going to be like, listen, I don't know what happened. I'm going to spend time with my child. I'm going to let the police do their job. If that's my daughter, that's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to get up there and lie and say, my daughter was getting fed Cheez-Its and she was abducted. No, I'm going to be like, I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm finding out information. I'm going to let the police do their job. But what I'm not going to do is lie. Police. I'm not about to lie for my child just because it's my child. No. That's why y'all children do what the heck they want to do now and have no accountability for it because y'all be lying for them. I ain't lying for my child. No. Nunu Sky?
Yes. Yes, I second that. Stop lying for your kids. And what I wanted to say to Trey is, I feel like people like him, and I was trapped in that too because I did go to the Army and the U.S. Navy, stuff like that too. And I do have people that would, die for me, take a bullet for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we real cool like that, but you can't take those relationships into the real world. Everybody's not going to treat you like that. Everybody's not going to see you like that. Yeah. Okay. So them are just your friends. Everyone around you is not going to act like that or treat you like that. So for you to get on here and say that we all need to do this and act like this, no. Our community, exactly. So why would you come on here and say that we need to though? We're not there yet. Our community is not there yet though. We're not there. We're nowhere near what you're asking of us.
America not there yet. You can say our community, America not there.
No. When everyone else talks about everyone else's community is not as bad as ours. So to everyone else's eyes, we are not there yet. So you can't ask stuff from us if we're not there yet. If you're going to get on here and say, oh, we kill each other. So how are we supposed to come together? We're still killing each other.
1 second. What you mean we aren't there yet, sister? We had communities back in the 60s and 70s in Tulsa, Oklahoma that was thriving. So what you mean we aren't there yet? We didn't downgrade it. We came from being there to not there.
Was you alive?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Was you alive for that? Was you alive for that? Did you benefit from anything from that? So if that's not your age, that's not your community. All those people are gone. That's not us. It's not us.
Sister, I was born in, but sister, still, what I'm trying to say is we got the potential to do that.
Yes,
but
the thing is, I'm not saying we don't. I'm not saying we don't, but we're not there yet. So for you to get on here and to put all that on us, you're not going to put that on me because I know for a fact my community is not there yet. I don't even have a black community. I have a mixed community of all different races and cultures. So for me to come in that community and just demand for them to do what I want them to do and to live how I want them to live, it's not going to happen. So I have to adapt to my own community, and I have to realize what I'm doing to my own community. She messed up, bro. She messed up. Period.
Yeah,
Point blank.
when you say
She messed up.
community, I look at when you say community, I look at that as a whole social economic thing. Because your community is not the same. You could be living in a gated community as a black person, or you could be out here in the ghettos, out here in the streets. They're not gonna look at the things the same. They don't look at things the same way.
Okay, and what I have to say about that is I lived in both. I grew up in a gated community. And
Yeah,
now, since I can afford it, I'm on my own. I live in
right,
what you call the downtown Los Angeles area, the slums,
Right.
right? So
right,
I lived in both. It's still the same.
right.
Mugshot. You keep telling me to pull up her mugshot. This is her mugshot. This is her mugshot.
But a lot of people don't think like that, my sister. I promise you. I hear
It,
in reality,
it doesn't matter where you live.
a lot of
There's a
people don't
million
think like that.
videos of gated communities, right? People who paying money in HOA's community still getting harassed, can't go to the pool, can't
Yeah.
swim, can't do that. And they live in a gated community versus a hood person can't go to the local gym, can't go to the local park, can't walk down the street, still dealing with the same problems. No matter where you go, it's going to be a
My
problem
sister,
for
I
our
don't know where you.
community.
It might be like that where you from, but I don't. It's not like that where I here, where I'm from. We don't have no type of. Don't nobody attack black people out here. Don't nobody hang black people out here. There's a lot of black people killing black people out here where I'm from. I don't see no white people coming up, bashing people upside the head, knocking people
Man,
upside, and robbing people, and
you're
nothing like that.
more anecdotal viewpoints.
No, I'm just saying it don't.
As a whole, you need
Y'all talking about something that don't even happen no more.
unity
I
in
mean,
your
yeah, it's discrimination.
like you
Yes, a
just
lot
So
of
are you.
injustice
You're
is
talking
gone.
about something that happened 60 years ago.
wait a minute,
60 years ago.
wait a minute. Trey keeps talking about anecdotal perspectives. He's not thinking about anything as a whole. He's like, well, where I'm from, this is how it goes, or when I was in the military, white people who are trained to die for me is gonna die for me. That's their job. That's what we signed up to do. When I'm in my neighborhood, this is like all of it is anecdotal. It's not as a whole. You're not even thinking as a whole. You're not.
You think as a whole because we not a whole. We not a whole. What is a whole? Where this come from? We have to think as a whole. Where all this come from?
Oh, I'm
Come
talking
on,
about
who think as a whole?
for the
We got
masses.
we got we got Russians. We got blonde haired, blue eyed Russians fighting blonde haired, blue eyed Ukrainians. They not in touch with each other. What makes you think we have to be in unison with each other? We don't agree with everybody in Africa.
We have to be again, it's going over your head. I did not say we
No,
think the same. I didn't say that we had to be in
no,
unison.
I'm just saying.
To give a perspective, don't give your perspective based off anecdotal experiences. Give your perspective of the community as a whole.
But that's what I'm saying. People giving their perspective saying
Consider
that
people in your state.
it's kind of it's upsetting.
Give your perspective.
It is because you're a person saying.
Okay, I don't want to argue, Trey. You're going to make me have a headache and I don't feel like it. Okay, I don't feel like having a headache. You just woke up and you want to argue because not one time did I say all black people got to think the same or be in unison. However, if you're going to give your perspective on a topic, consider not just your type of black people, this type of black people. Use all of us as a collective because we're all different and draw a conclusion from that. Neek's biggest fan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanna I wanna pray that we can be just as perfect as you need. Father God, I come to you right now to be perfect like Nick at night. I want to be perfect like Nick and all these peasants in the comment section. Just because we disagree with them, they want to try to go off and say people arguing because we have our own opinion. Nick just hung up on Trey because Trey did not agree with what she said.
No,
You guys,
I on Trey because Trey is trying to argue. Did you see the
no,
other
Nick.
and I left her up
Did
here?
someone? I've been watching you for too long. That's
And I'm
not
not
true.
understanding from what she
When
said.
some
I don't
you
give a fuck
yelling at me, Nick. You're yelling. You're yelling. You trying to get that masculine energy, Nick.
bye, child. Anyways, all right, that's all for this video, child. I'm not about to argue with y'all. Why y'all think you like to argue? What Plies say? Oh, you like to argue. That's all it is. You like to argue. Ain't nobody finna argue with you. Okay? I'm not about to argue with y'all. Trey got clicked off because Trey is purposely trying to argue instead of having a solid back and forth. He just want to argue. I'm not about to argue. I said what I said. That's how I feel. Period. And if you feel differently, then go on your channel and give your points on how you feel. However, I, as a woman, am going to hold another woman accountable. And I, as a woman, feel like she held us back, make us look bad, make us look like we all liars. We always get lumped in when something big happens. Us as a group take the L. Okay? Period. And I'm not about to argue with y'all. Go argue with your mama. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like to tussle. Go tussle with your mammy. Okay? Because she didn't teach y'all critical thinking and she didn't teach y'all accountability. She didn't teach y'all just because you black don't mean I got to not hold you accountable because you black. No. 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 Period. Who is Dre? Y'all say y'all knew it was Dre. Who's Dre? Is that another content creator? I don't know who the hell Dre is. Who the fuck is Dre? We don't know how long Carlee gonna serve. She could get a deal. Who is Dre? Y'all saying that's Dre. Who is Dre? I don't know who Dre is. Is that another YouTuber? Y'all keep saying that's Dre. I don't know who Dre is. Somebody said, so Carlee gonna serve 1 year in jail. The charge said that each charge, it could have been up to a year. So just because each charge is up to a year doesn't mean that she's gonna serve a year. It just means that that's what it could be. It could be a year on this charge, and it could be a year on that charge. For instance, Tory Lane was facing up to 22 years, but the prosecution only requested, I think 13 years, or was it 13 years? Yeah, I think it was 13 years. Dang, it's been so long since I covered Tory. But like that. So just because the max is something doesn't mean that that's what you're going to get. You still have to have trial. You still have to have a sentencing phase. You still have to have all of those things. And there's a possibility that charges can get upgraded. You know, right now he's saying that he's charging her with those 2 charges. But if new information comes forward, they're able to charge her with more. If her job charges her, the detective said that the theft of her job is in a different jurisdiction. So what happens also with that is, if this Hoover PD charges her and she's booked and charged, she'll carry out whatever they want. And then if the outside jurisdiction has her charged with something, they can carry out a totally, like, pick her, like, right when she's done with whatever Hoover PD got, then the theft of the other people could pick her up, you know, like that. Like, so just because it's up to, we won't know the final thing until this actually goes to trial. And if you think Trey had a point, he didn't. You're slow. I'm sorry to say, Breezy, but you're slow. If you think that there was a point made, there wasn't. There wasn't. I'm sorry. There wasn't. But anyways, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys on another video, and get mad and stay mad. Okay? Y'all go get mad and stay mad. Period. Y'all gonna stay bad because one thing about it, y'all not gonna change my position. So get bad, stay bad. Y'all gonna continue to be bad. Y'all gonna continue to be bad because I'm not changing my position. Period. That's how I feel. All right, y'all.